I'm Symphony Privet. Thank you for joining us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories across the country. Let's start in Buffalo, New York, where a community closet is making sure everyone has access to clothing. But inside, it's about much more than getting dressed. Courtney Courtwright speaks to one woman who says it's a place to rebuild and find hope.
At Felician Community Services, giving back is at the heart of everything they do.
Our clothing closet is completely free to the community.
It's one of the reasons they started their Wear and Share clothing closet, providing clothing to people of all ages and sizes.
Since we've opened the doors of the clothing closet, we've given out 19,000 articles of clothing.
19,000 in just 1 year is a big number.
I'm so grateful for everything.
Especially when you can see
I got this from here. I got this from here.
how important this closet is to each person walking through the door.
It has been very life-saving to me.
Like Desiree Sweeney.
My home burnt up, my entire home burnt up 8 months ago. I was burnt in the fire, trying to save my home.
Since then, she's been rebuilding her life with the help of the Wear and Share Closet and other organizations. Going through clothes here twice a month, leaving with up to 15 items each time.
You come here and you can find some wonderful things with even tags on them that people have bought and donated.
When somebody is able to donate, it does a lot for that person too, right? That want to give back, that want to feel like you helped a community that's really struggling right now.
Because here, giving back is hand in hand with moving forward.
Every day is a new day, and every day is a new day to start a fresh life.
And that was Courtney Courtwright reporting. All right, come on over with me to Minnesota now. A Girl Scout there has sold thousands of cookies to give to her community and make sure they had a little treat they didn't expect. Cece Gaines shows us how her gift is helping bike riders safely explore the outdoors.
Let's get ready, guys.
We've always been an active family. Go, Boo.
The Bartons of Woodbury are no strangers to the city's bike trails.
We really like to get out and explore.
But lately, they've been able to enjoy a new landmark at Powers Lake Park.
You just put it up there.
And that's all thanks to a 14-year-old Girl Scout.
You could have to adjust the seat.
Patty Barton noticed there wasn't a place on the trails to stop and fix basic bike issues.
Find the wrench that fits your seat.
So she fixed that.
I researched it on my own, calculated the cost, and then I approached my mom, my troop leader.
I think pride is too small of a word. I don't know. To think that a 14-year-old was able to get something installed for an entire city is pretty dang impressive.
Impressive that she's helping people she may never meet.
I did a little ta-da moment when I first saw it.
It didn't take much to convince the city.
She's just like, I want you guys to help install it and help keep it up. And he's like, you're not expecting us to buy it? And she's like, no, I'll take care of that.
Patty sold over 2,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies to help raise the money.
Congratulations!
And met her goal this summer.
It really speaks to the fact that leadership isn't about age. It's about seeing the need to solve a problem and acting on it.
The first Facebook post was the one that was like, oh my gosh, people are using it.
Patty's project helps complete strangers, but it's inspired by someone she knows very well.
I wanted to do something in honor of my dad because I was really, really scared that I was going to lose him.
Patty's dad, Zach, had a heart attack and a triple bypass at the end of 2024.
Walking to the bus stop to get the kids, I felt pain in my chest. I was cold.
He spent 11 days in a Maplewood hospital.
I went to the hospital when I could.
There were so many things that I could not do.
Zach's slow and steady recovery pushed along by Patty.
As part of the recovery, I needed exercise, and as I got stronger, Patty wanted to start riding again.
Take off, girlfriend.
Like we did many years ago.
There you go.
Helping him get moving again wasn't just about recovery.
I push him to keep active because I know if he doesn't, then he might not be there in 10 years.
It was also about keeping a promise to walk Patty down the aisle.
I'll hear a song and I'll be like, Dad, wouldn't this be a great song for our daddy-daughter dance?
Even while juggling school, Girl Scouts, and caring for her dad, Patty kept going.
There's always more trails and more adventures that we can have.
The repair station became a way of turning a hard season into something good.
It is humbling to have your daughter work on something for you. She inspires me.
To Patty, it's not just about who you help.
Love you, kiddo.
It's about making a difference that reaches
I do love you.
beyond yourself.
Mom and I are both very proud of you.
Yeah.
That was CC Gaines reporting. A Texas girl is proving age is just a number when it comes to entrepreneurship. The 9-year-old is running her own weekend bakery from a farm stand right in her front yard. Juliana Jackson has the story of this young baker and her recipe for success.
We come out early, flip the sign to open.
At the Wharton household, their weekends smell like a bakery.
Stick to the cookies, normal bread, pumpkin Rice Krispie treats.
9-year-old Alicia Wharton isn't just baking for fun. She's running her own business.
My mom made this sign a few days ago.
And when a family friend surprised the Whartons with a custom-built farm stand.
I love it when she brings them up to my job and sells them to my coworkers.
Baked these. Yes.
Alicia's been in the kitchen since she was 2.
Probably around 2 years old, I would say she has started to help. And now that she's a little bit older, she helps out a lot more.
Smokey.
She also tends to the family's backyard animals and helps her little siblings. But this sweet business comes with serious responsibility. So what's her secret?
We need to have the right measurements.
Thanks to a new Texas law, young bakers like Alicia have even more room to grow. Senate Bill 541 tripled the income cap for cottage bakers to $150,000 and opened the door to more sales.
Put it there.
But for the Whartons, success isn't measured in dollars.
The drive that she has for it, I don't see why she couldn't take it to the next level by the time she's in her teenage years and beyond.
Alicia is proving that success is best served fresh.
The cookies. And the funnest part about it is when tasting it.
How sweet is that? That was Juliana Jackson reporting, and she is joining us right now. Thank you for joining us here on Featured, Juliana.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I cannot wait to hear all about this. How did you find out about Alicia?
As so many of our stories, and I can say for myself, on Facebook. So her mom has a Facebook page called The Mighty Homestead, and I just saw so many of her photos pop up, and I knew that there was a story behind those photos. And of course, she's just an adorable 9-year-old girl, but I was really fortunate that her mom opened up their home to me and to be able to share her story.
Why was it important for you to share her story with the public?
I think right now, especially, it's so important to share uplifting and happy stories. So many times and so many of our days are filled with, the hard news stories, breaking news. But whenever people are able to connect with their community and see that their community is doing good, I think it's always important to highlight those opportunities. And so that's why I really pushed to have her story. Of course, that same night it aired, we had breaking news. So I finished up the package super fast, watched it one more time, told my producer, please make sure this gets in. And luckily it did.
I love that. You still found time to make sure the story got done. Now, you showed your community a real life example of how the law works for them. Was that your intention with this one?
At first, no. I thought, I would just focus on her. But then I realized, Senate Bill 541, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he passed it during this previous legislative session. And it has opened up so many avenues for cottage bakers. And while I was there at her home, at Alicia's home, her mom was making sure, that they were following all of the rules. And her mom was like, yeah, we're able to make a little bit more money. And, if she keeps going, she can make over $150,000. And so I wanted people to know, she's not just doing a little farm stand. And even if she was, that would be great. But she can actually make a business out of it.
Incredible. And I'm sure you just felt inspired after hearing her success, being 9 years old and already being a young businesswoman. What did you personally take away from her story, and what do you hope the viewers got from it?
Well, it was really neat. She was homeschooled, and I was homeschooled as well growing up. And so being able to have that connection with her and relaying it to my past, it's hard sometimes for homeschoolers to find outlets, whether it's for sports or creativity or even cooking. And so I was so happy for her that she was able to find that outlet. And it was a big family movement for them as well. And so that was really happy to see. And I hope what viewers were able to take out of this story was her work ethic at just 9 years old. And you could also tell in that video, she's just a good big sister to her siblings. That wasn't my idea to show all the chickens in, her backyard. I had her mic'd up and she was like, come on back. I want to show you, what all I do. And so she really opened up and I was really happy to show that.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And I want to say I did get some pumpkin bread from Alicia. It was delicious.
It was tasty.
It was very good. Hopefully she can ship one day.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. I hope you enjoyed her special treat.
Thank you so much for having me.
Alrighty, now check this out. After grinding rails and mastering tricks, a professional skateboarder is tackling a new challenge. Neen Williams traded in his skateboard for a cutting board. He said he turned his passion for cooking into a business and co-created NACD Burger.
I met my partner at one of his restaurants and we wanted to do something together. And one thing led to another and a friend offered us a kitchen spot in one of his bars.
Now, since the first NACD Burger in Texas, the restaurant has expanded to 5 other cities across the country, including Austin, New York, and Charlotte. Look what can happen when you embrace your true passions. You might just find success. All right, we have more for you straight ahead. When medicine has done all it can, a different kind of healing is needed. We show you how a choir is offering hope in life's final moments. Plus, a little warrior conquered her biggest battle yet. Now she's helping other folks fight too. How this 4-year-old is using lemonade to do it. And this Canadian goose is pretty far from home. A small town says he flew across the border and never went back. We find out how the feathery foreigner is settling into his new residence. Welcome back. Now, if I ever needed a little pick-me-up, my favorite song normally does the trick. Well, a choir is using their voices to lift spirits for patients in their final days. Sean Martinelli takes us to Virginia to show us how a sweet melody can bring peace and comfort.
In this story, what you're about to see is secondary to what you will hear.
It can be a very joyful, peaceful, sacred experience.
I think, to me, the strongest message is the power of a voice.
Our songs are like lullabies for adults.
Lullabies for adults on the threshold of life.
How beautiful it is to be with somebody who is at that stage of life. That it can be a very meaningful experience that enriches your life and enriches what is left of their life.
That's Leslie Kostridge, director of the Threshold Singers of Washington.
So many angels.
Twice a month, the group rehearses here for singing engagements across the D.C. area.
I don't even have the words to tell you what it feels like to be in the room with someone and to connect with them, and even if you aren't sure they're actually conscious, we always feel that they can hear us anyway.
The group's audiences are typically in hospice. For these singers, it is an experience as important as it is intimate.
It usually feels very precious.
I don't think you can witness someone passing without really feeling very close or very affected by them.
It's our gift to them, but they are really giving back to us too.
You are not alone.
We saw it firsthand at Goodwin Living in Alexandria. You can see the impact in Jean Brown's eyes.
There's no way I could describe it, but I have never heard such singing that was, oh my gosh, it was from the heart.
from the hearts of strangers who are often touched too.
You know, it's easy to say this, but it really was true. It was completely life-changing, and very few things in my life have ever hit me that way.
And in engaging with the dying.
It is like the time I feel the most alive. Just walking each other home.
In Alexandria, Virginia, Sean Martinelli.
And over in St. Louis, a 4-year-old girl was given a devastating diagnosis. But instead of getting sour, she turned lemons into lemonade. Renee Knott shows us how the smallest hands can sometimes make the biggest difference.
Life gave little Lauren lemons.
It was really scary.
Now she sells lemonade.
I said, life through lemons, we're gonna make lemonade.
Life for Lauren
We knew something was wrong because her legs stopped moving when she was 7 months.
began to sour.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Early for the 4-year-old.
She was born with cancer. It's called neuroblastoma. We found out when she was 10 months old. When you heard the word cancer, you feel like it's the end.
But Lauren
And we did not know she had a tumor behind her heart that was pressing on her spine.
defied the odds of her prognosis.
They didn't think that Lauren would walk, so they told us to be prepared for that. Well, Lauren is walking. Come on, Lauren.
Now,
Lauren is a 3-year cancer survivor.
as her mom cooks in the family restaurant in Ferguson, Lauren is up front, making a difference, using her lemonade stand to help families.
It may not be a lot, but when you're going through something like that, it does help somebody.
Struggling with their own cancer journey.
I met this young lady and she told me she was struggling on paying her bills.
Blessing others with her earnings.
I know that you still been out of work, or you still have to take care of her. Yeah. And y'all, so I want to give you $1,000 today.
She's a local celebrity.
Thank you.
Whose courage
She's a warrior.
and charity
Yes, she's a fighter.
have become an inspiration.
She tells me and her dad that we are her superhero. But what she don't know is she's my superhero.
Beautiful story from Renee Knott. Now don't go too far. There's more right after this. An adorable newborn that should come with a little bit of a warning. We'll tell you why holding this baby may cause some muscle fatigue. Plus, a wedding secret kept from the bride. We'll tell you why the groom planned to say I do a day before their big day. Welcome back. Let's dive into what's trending on social media now. Now, the principal of a school got married recently, but before that, the whole school came together to throw a surprise wedding ceremony right on the school's lawn. Photojournalist Franco Ardito shares the story with us.
A massive, magical surprise. We're giving you a surprise wedding! We're giving you a surprise wedding!
I was beyond surprised. I was shocked. I'm still finding myself shocked that something of this magnitude could happen.
Are you kidding me right now?
I'm gonna get emotional again, but told me that the school was throwing me a wedding, which was a dream. Yeah.
Who would ever expect that an entire school community is going to throw you a wedding? Zach's mom's here, your mom's here.
I had told her before that, it would be great to just be with our school community. We have such an amazing school community between our students, our team members, our family members. It's beautiful here, and I wanted to celebrate with everyone.
She's caring, kind, helpful to others, and she does a lot for us.
I tell people all the time they just need to come here. Their joy, their enthusiasm, their excitement for learning and for caring for each other is inspirational.
My principal means a lot to me because she's very kind and really nice. And she do a lot for us.
She always helps me when I need help. I think she make a good principal.
We had staff crying, kids are crying. We have her family there. We have Zach, her fiance's family there. Miss Lenoy Illinois students are everything to her.
And just seeing everything in this moment, I realized it just matters who's in the space.
I do.
So they gave their speeches. We had one of our students be the officiant of the wedding. She was just super blown away by all of that.
You can have all these other elements, but it really matters who's there to celebrate. So it was perfect.
That was from photojournalist Franco Ardito. What a cute story. Still ahead after years of service, one courthouse's best friend is retiring, calling it quits. We take a look back at the impact this four-legged hero brought to the justice system. And for one transplant patient, the road to recovery is set to music. We hear how the power of song is making all the difference. Thank you for staying with us here on Featured. I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you uplifting stories across the country. Now, earlier we showed you how music can turn into medicine, and that sentiment rings especially true for a liver transplant patient at a Houston hospital. Orko Manna shows us how songwriting became more than therapeutic. It became a lifeline for one patient and his family.
Your liver's not working. Your kidneys quit.
That was the warning from Sam Carrion's doctors in Dallas, saying his health was failing.
You're not going home unless you get a liver. I didn't realize how bad of condition I got myself in.
He came to Houston Methodist last year hoping for a liver transplant, but the months of waiting and all the medical tests took a toll on his mental health.
Every day it was a struggle thinking, how am I going to do this? I mean, this is a lot.
Over a year, right?
Enter music therapist Danielle Montgomery, who asked Carrion to write down his feelings.
What if you put this in a song? What if we work on some songwriting so that we can tell your story?
She started playing her guitar, and then she started reading the words to it. And I'm just like, oh my God, it sounds like a song.
The pair kept meeting, laboring over lyrics.
How did that help you kind of get through what you were dealing with at the hospital?
Just that mentally put my mind at ease. Because I could listen to music. I close my eyes and I can hear the voices and I can hear the guitar playing. And that would just get me to the next day.
Those sessions were part of Houston Methodist Center for Performing Arts Medicine, which the hospital calls the most comprehensive program of its kind in the country.
We have at least one music therapist at every campus that works. They work in the ICU, outpatient infusion with cancer patients, just a variety of settings.
How helpful and beneficial can music therapy be?
I think it can be immensely helpful.
Carrion ended writing 3 songs during his 10-month stay at the hospital, one before his liver transplant and 2 after.
They say
and he tapped his son to come to his bedside to sing them.
We sat in a corner of the room and set up a mini recording booth.
Talk to me about recording these songs for your dad.
It was definitely an emotional journey, reading that and hearing the music behind it, and it just brought a lot to the light of who my dad is.
The magic of music helping Carrion heal.
I gave up. I didn't want to fight anymore. And bringing me here, listening to Donnell helped me to inspire me to write the song. Had my son sing that song. Brought life back in. And that gave me hope.
my condition's beyond repair.
After recovering, his son sang the songs again at a special event where Carrion was gifted with an album cover to go with the music he created. A celebration of his journey and his new lease on life.
I wake up every morning, thank God every morning for another breath I have.
That was Orko Manna reporting. It's never too late to find your creative voice. In New York, nursing home residents are painting a world of new possibilities. Claudine Ewing takes us to an art show that is adding a little color and meaning to their days.
These are pictures of seniors learning art. Art can be healing, especially as you get older.
This program has opened my eyes to art again. Rebuilt my self-confidence, my passion for art, and helped me out of a dark couple places that I was in.
Look at Heidi's work.
every person just says there's no way they can do it. Many people try to leave, but I keep them in their seat, I help them, guide them, and then eventually I don't have to help them anymore and they just do it on their own.
Splash on Canvas owner Rio Mansour has been providing art classes for the elderly since 2018. This group has been using charcoal and acrylic.
I have a hard time making stick figures.
You never painted, and I'm seeing this work?
Yes. So, I mean, like the flag is like one of my earlier pieces, and then my least favorite piece is my self-portrait.
At this stage of life, it's very important to kind of keep them going. It's very important to kind of keep them active and creative and keep their mind sharp.
For Donna, it reinforced that age is just a number.
I'm 82.
No way.
Yes. Yes, way.
You're 82 and now an accomplished artist.
Yes, I am.
This is my childhood home.
That's your childhood home?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Do you enjoy doing this?
Oh, I love it.
Look at her work and another self-portrait.
Just seeing the growth of the elder community and the happiness and the stories about their families, seeing who they've become at this stage is worth everything.
Worth celebrating.
Oh, it's always worth celebrating.
That was Claudine Ewing reporting. A Michigan woman is sharing a unique form of therapy with seniors. Oh, something you don't see every day. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Jody Wilterdink had a lot of time on her hands, so she began raising baby chicks. Now she works with a senior care service that assigns caretakers to visit homebound seniors. And with their help, she started healing hens.
People, may feel isolated by this journey. And so we like to let folks know they're not alone. And the sense of community, I think, is very therapeutic.
The silky hens are the stars of the show here. Now, according to the seniors in Michigan, they're calm and can be held easily.
I was wide open to it, willing to come, and this has been super great. I've always liked animals, always my whole life, and I would always be willing to hold an animal or whatever, and this is great.
And organizers say in certain instances, the hens have restored speech, get this, in nonverbal seniors. Wow, who knew chickens could make such a difference? Now, one friendly bird in Pennsylvania has claimed a neighborhood in Scranton as his new nest. Jack Culkin introduces us to Gus the goose and found a couple of his buddies.
This is Gus, and for the last 2 years, he's had this neighborhood in East Scranton in a flap.
He was the only goose down there, and they typically fly away for the winter time, but we knew there was something array because he was not leaving.
Tom Gallagher and his wife first saw Gus at Darcy Park 2 years ago when he was trapped in the ice that formed over Roaring Brook.
It was 3 degrees out, snow everywhere, he had nothing to eat, and the water had frozen over, and he must have melted into it.
After freeing himself, the Canadian goose stuck around here in the States under plenty of watchful eyes.
There's something about this goose that draws us to him, and I think it's because maybe he needs us.
Once he wrapped up his afternoon lunch of lettuce and corn, Gus climbed up the bank to stretch his webbed feet. Whether it's catching a Little League game here at East Scranton's Little League or taking a stroll around Darcy Park, Gus has become quite a regular here in the neighborhood.
I don't know, I've been sitting down here and he come right up to a few times and he'll be nipping on you and stuff like that.
Jack and Gus both call the neighborhood home. While Gus doesn't have a mailing address, Jack says everyone knows where to find him.
He's become a mainstay here. People drop off, people stop. God, car after car feeding him, so he's probably never going to leave.
There's no knowing how long Gus will stay in the area, but for now, residents say he's a Scrantonian.
That's Jack Culkin reporting. Now, in a Maryland neighborhood, there is a stray dog on the block with no name and no home. Poor pup. Sean Martinelli shows us how the community is coming together, all for a dog that has left a mark on everyone she meets.
Pretty girl. If calls were currency,
Pretty girl.
Rain Correa would be the wealthiest woman on this Maryland block.
Pretty girl.
But what Rain wants cannot be bought.
I want her to have a home. That's why I called you.
Rain's referring to that dog with a limp and without an owner.
Her tail is always tucked in. I always try to get that little wag, just a second if I can.
How she got here is a mystery. Neighbors say the dog was abandoned by a breeder who didn't give her a name, just a number, 9.
Mueve!
For months, professionals have tried to come and catch.
Probably around 70-something times, they told me.
Every time, they leave empty-handed.
She won't leave the block. She'll go to this end to the other end.
Which is why Rain says this dog is different.
I noticed that she was a wonderful dog when she was walking the kids to the bus stop. There you go.
After she saw that, Rain began looking out for the mutt. Now other neighbors are too.
She sleeps on my porch. She sleeps in the back.
She sleeps here too.
No, she does.
She sleeps in front of their house.
I spoke to them. That's how I knew what was going on with them.
Rain knows the best pets can come into our lives when least expected.
My first dog I found is Cynthia in Concourse Village in the Bronx in the middle of a snowstorm back in the 70s.
Some 50 years later, this dog wandered into her life, but she can't stay. Rain's only living here temporarily.
I just want her to have home. I just wish I could have her.
So the calls will continue.
Pretty girl.
Until they are answered.
Oh, there she is. She's coming.
Until the dog with no name and no home gets both. In Clinton, Maryland, Sean Martinelli.
Alrighty, let's head to a celebration and a new beginning in a Michigan courtroom. Kiara Patterson explains how a judge's ruling officially made a family forever whole.
We're gathered here in court to celebrate one of these, the confirmation of a new family through adoption. Today is about love, commitment, and beginning, and it's a privilege for this court to be a part of it.
In Judge Matthew DeLange's courtroom, 11-year-old Daisy, who's hard of hearing, called the session to order herself. With a smile, a gavel, and a room full of support.
Go ahead. Thank you. We are now in session.
Her classmates from Northview's Deaf and Hard of Hearing program filled the courtroom. A sea of smiles and waving hands, celebrating the family that's loved her all along.
You are witnessing something very important. A day when the law catches up to what the heart already knows, that this is and always has been a family.
Daisy's aunt and uncle, Alice and Edgar Collingwood, have helped raise Daisy since her father passed away 2.5 years ago. With her mother facing health challenges, they moved from Oklahoma so Daisy could attend a school that teaches American Sign Language every day.
We found the Northview school system, and they have a wonderful deaf hard of hearing program. She has just blossomed. She used to be very shy, very timid, and now her personality is really starting to come out.
The Collingwoods are also learning ASL themselves.
She also uses an AAC, which is an accommodation device that she can type words into and has pictures. And so if we can't understand what she's signing to us, she can pick it up and just write out what she wants to communicate. This is just a dream come true for all three of us.
That was Kiara Patterson reporting. Tennessee parents welcomed a new addition. They already have 4 kids, but as Olivia Dog explains, this delivery brought a big surprise that even had the hospital staff in disbelief. Take a look.
Hey. They say big blessings come in small packages.
What is it?
For Kayla Jeffers and her fiance Jordan Daub,
He weighed 13 pounds, 3 ounces.
not so
It
much.
was big throughout my whole pregnancy.
This is Kayla's 3rd baby. Her others weighed in at around 8 and 9 pounds. Previous doctor's visits indicated this one would be a big baby.
My doctor was like, how much do you think he's going to weigh? And I was like, 12.5 pounds, because I just went before. And yeah, he was way over that.
Weston Payne was welcomed into the world on September 16th at Park West Hospital.
The doctor almost couldn't lift him out of the...
Yeah, she was like, he's so heavy, I can't get him up, because she lifted him over the drape to show him
You'll understand when I say, when I looked and saw how big he was. He was huge.
His parents say he was quite the celebrity that day with hospital staff.
Before they clocked in, they came straight up and checked
to our room
and said that was the biggest baby that the hospital has seen.
And there's an added blessing. Weston is Kayla and Jordan's first baby together, joining their other 4 kids.
He's our first boy. We have all girls from 9 to 14.
Even though he's wearing 3 to 6 month old onesies and drinking a lot more milk.
He's a blessing for sure.
He is.
These parents wouldn't change a thing.
I guess don't be afraid to have a big baby. It's uncomfortable.
And what entails with it, because he's been great so far.
Woo, that is a big boy. That was Olivia Dagg reporting. Stick around, we have more for you right after this. Welcome back. A 4-legged member at a Washington prosecuting attorney's office is now retiring after years of making justice possible for trauma survivors. Natalie Swaby shows us how the town is celebrating its courthouse dog.
For Errol,
he's very interested in the camera.
It's one of his last official walks through his workplace. After a decade of service, King County's courthouse dog is calling it a career.
I just think we're all feeling a little nostalgic and a little sad and also just honored to have had this time with him.
Errol became a fixture on the 5th floor, joining prosecutors when he was just 2 years old. Over the years, he's provided crucial comfort to crime survivors and witnesses during difficult cases.
Speeding driver, hit and run driver. Yep, a lot of impaired drivers. And of course, Lindsay was killed, and those are her beautiful sons.
The crash left the mom's boys behind. The oldest, Malachi, witnessed the aftermath. Prosecutors wanted him to testify against the intoxicated driver who killed his mother, but trauma silenced him, creating a dilemma.
What sort of, strategies if this little boy will never open up and talk to us, because he wouldn't speak to us.
That's where Errol stepped in, helping Malachi face his worst memories in court. The dog sat beside him during the proceedings that ended with a conviction. He also eased the pain for Army veteran Brent Arancio's family.
Brent was a very good man.
A robber killed him, leaving behind young sons who formed a connection with the canine.
To where a dog is able to make a child who lost his dad to murder feel like something in this world is okay. And to me, that's huge.
Here, Errol spent his days seeking out ways to serve.
Errol, get?
Meeting of the Metropolitan King County Council.
It's why King County Council chambers filled with visitors waiting for Errol to make his entrance.
A proclamation to recognize a retiring member of our county's workforce, Errol.
He's done so much work individually with different people on so many different levels, and to have that be honored by the county is just really wonderful.
Oh, what a very good boy. Happy retirement, Errol. I'm sure you'll be missed by all the lives you've touched. That was Natalie Swaby reporting. Already over to Colorado now. A group of volunteers are getting buzzed for law enforcement. Mark Salinger takes us to a wet lab where state troopers are turning into bartenders to help keep drivers safe.
Back in college, someone once told me, hey, you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
Thank you.
They probably weren't envisioning this.
It feels really weird getting drunk, with cops all around you.
Well before most bars even open.
It is 10:46 in the morning. I am now on my second drink.
Colorado State Patrol is slinging drinks like it's science.
Abby, I need you to go have a double.
I'm supposed to have 10 drinks.
Terry, I need you to go have a double.
Yeah, this is a lot earlier than I normally start drinking.
They call it a wet lab. You get a couple drinks in you and it quickly turns into a bunch of people getting drunk in a conference room surrounded by state troopers.
It's not the vibe I normally go after.
Starting early. It's gonna be a long day.
Don't worry, they volunteered for this.
But it's not an open bar. This is a very controlled environment where we measure out every single drop that goes into these beverages.
The only way State Patrol can train their cadets to spot drunk drivers is to get people drunk.
You want to make sure that they are actually getting that experience of seeing what a drunk person is going to look like on the side of the road.
And so, they drink.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Definitely started to feel it. Yeah, feeling good.
And it's only 12:30, and so we're in for a ride.
Until it's time for the test.
Oh, I'm gonna feel so bad.
Cadets can't graduate.
Are these the new guys?
Those are the brand new cadets.
Okay, I'll wax sober.
Until they know how to do field sobriety tests.
You want me to go all the way?
I just want you to imagine a straight line.
Okay.
So in a sense, yeah, it's kind of like we're back at school.
4, 5, 6.
Whoa. All right, that was Mark Salinger reporting. Now, Texas is celebrating a fake robbery. Sean Giggy takes us to a town that is getting a boost in business from one small scene from an iconic movie.
You know, criminals don't often telegraph their crimes, but let me let you in on a little secret. This bank is getting robbed this weekend, and you can watch it happen.
Don't go calling the cops just yet. It's not real.
There was no actual robberies that happened here.
Pilot Point Main Street Director Wendy Atkins says as part of the city's Bonnie and Clyde days, it's reenacting a robbery. A fake robbery.
Harkening back to the day Hollywood came to Pilot Point.
Back in 1967, the movie Bonnie and Clyde, based on the real-life outlaws, filmed a bank robbery right here in the downtown square. And for a couple decades now, the city has celebrated it. And full of live music, food, a car show, a soapbox derby, and of course, a reenactment of that Hollywood bank robbery. Which makes you wonder, why is one scene from a nearly 60-year-old movie worth celebrating?
We are all about the impact that has had on Pilot Point.
Without it, Wendy says Pilot Point may have just become another small Texas town lost to history. After that movie, other movies and TV shows came to Pilot Point, bringing a boost to local businesses, keeping the city relevant and thriving. In Pilot Point, I'm Sean Giggy.
Welcome back. A flight from Denver to Los Angeles experienced more than just a little turbulence. The plane collided with an object mid-air. Kevin Vaughn talks to a passenger who shares what kept everyone on board calm in the face of terror.
It was just a day trip. I was going by myself because I had an unused flight credit from United that was going to expire if I didn't travel. So I was like, why not? I've never been to Los Angeles, so let's just spend a day there.
From the pre-dawn darkness to morning's first light, a peaceful adventure until...
And that's when the pilot made the emergency broadcast, right, saying, hey folks, I have some bad news. Unfortunately, the aircraft has collided with an object and shattered a window in the cockpit.
Heather kept her phone rolling.
Experienced quite a bit of turbulence after that, which was pretty nerve-wracking, I won't lie. But after hearing an announcement like that, you know, you really are just holding your breath, and so every little jostle can really be stressful.
Instead of Los Angeles, the pilots diverted to Salt Lake City.
I heard one of the flight attendants say to her coworker, oh yes, this plane is definitely going out of service. It's not cracked, it's shattered.
Heather never saw the damage, but photos posted on social media captured it, and injuries to the pilot.
It's scary, and the fact that he was able to come on the intercom, give that announcement, and remain so composed and so calm, I think really is what kept all the passengers out of a state of panic.
After spending hours in the Salt Lake airport, she finally made it to LA, even enjoyed an acai bowl at the beach.
Alrighty, that is a wrap for this episode of Featured. Make it a great one.